Hi guys, so today I want to talk about power crash in Artale. So in Artale, power crash is different from old school Maplestory. So now in Artale, it's actually a party buff that reduces the amount of damage that you and your party members take by 1% per every 1000 HP. So to demonstrate this, let me just recast power crash so you can see what's going on. And I'll be taking these touch damage from these Chief Oblivion Guardians, these blacker ones. So you can see 1734, 1793, 1704, 1822. So it's around 1700s, but 1822 was the maximum. Now, the reason why this happens is because my damage is being reduced by 14% based off of the description. So what if I was to cast Power Crash after Hyper Body? So Hyper Body's active, and then I cast Power Crash. Now notice how much damage I take, touch damage from these Chief Oblivion Guardians. 16-1 something. 1668. 1641. 1641 again. 1587. 1492, that might have been from the other one, 1533. So you see, as before I was getting up to 1822, now I'm only getting 1500s, 1600s. You'll never see anything over 1700. 16, right? 14, 1641, 1533. So you'll never see anything above 1700. Whereas before I was easily getting 1700s and maximum 1822. Just to demonstrate that again, cast Power Crash. Now you can see when I power crash before hyperbodying or without hyperbody, I'm getting that close to 1800s. Whereas if I do it 1822 again, whereas if I do it after hyperbody, now you won't see anything above 1700. It's all 1500s, 1600s. Right? Now the reason why this happens is because if you cast Power Crash after hyperbody, obviously you'll have more health after hyperbody, so it becomes a more potent Power Crash. So for me, I have 14.9, so that's 14% to 20%, because maximum is 20%. 20% after HP. So that's where you see the difference in damage reduction. So there's two conclusions that you can kind of draw from this information. Number one is that you always want to cast Power Crash after Hyperbody. So you want to do Hyperbody first and then Power Crash. This will give you the most reduction in damage for you and your party members. I say party members too because this is very, very important, especially during raids like Horntail or Zac, or any raids, or even training in Showa where damage is very high. If you want to save your teammates potions and money, you always want to hyperbody first and then power crash after, or power crash while you have higher HP. So that's one. Number two is that you will always want to train with hyperbody. Sometimes I notice DKs don't train with hyperbody because they technically don't need to, but you always want to train with hyperbody, and you want to power crash after the hyperbody to reduce the amount of potions and mesos you burn, because you notice that it's a pretty noticeable difference from 1700s, 1800s, down to 1600s, 1500s. So you're saving, every time you get hit, which is every invincibility frame duration, you're saving a little bit of money. Now that adds up if you're training over hours and hours, especially with the new Showa region that, there's a lot of, they hit up very hard. So those are the two kind of conclusions from how Power Crash works. You always want to hyperbody first and then Power Crash, and you always want to you always want to train with hyperbody even if you're training alone without a party member as a DK. So right here in Temple of Time, I would always want to keep hyperbody up while I'm training. So that's kind of what just wanted to talk about. And this is my first time using my microphone and using my voice to make a video. So new thing for me. Hopefully it's not too crazy, too bad. Appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you, and thank you. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.